are within Italy. Kyrie against Origin carries through the early game. This game again, Kyrie actually didn't have quite such a good game. He did die early on, if you keep that in mind, but it didn't matter. It wasn't enough. And you know, here's something that we were expecting from this pick and ban phase.
It's left Aurelia open. Let's see how they deal with that situation. Malphite comes out again, as we had that quote earlier. Pick Malphite, that's the only thing you can do against me other than triple ban. Or you can maybe first pick Aurelia. They have that choice as they do have first pick.
That was going to be my suggestion. Or at least my thoughts, is they're likely to first pick. I don't think that Morsu's so afraid that they'd ban something here. And they don't.
Okay, yeah. They ban out the Rumble like they did first game. It's a Smitty J champion. Hey, would you look at that? There's the Aurelia. So, what does Morsu do now? Okay, what does Morsu do now?
Keep in mind, again, 5.6. Aurelia did get nerfed for the first time in nearly
2012.
3 years, really, that Aurelia has received any kind of nerf bat. But a little bit of damage shaved off. But that was about it.
It was just
still
Equilibrium Strike.
Yeah, exactly. Just Equilibrium Strike. A little bit tweaked off the top. But still very much so a top lane pick. You don't want Morsu to get it, so G2 had their hand forced on taking that. But is that a good thing, though? Is that potentially what G2 need, is to be forced to play something that can carry a game like an Aurelia?
Well, we know Smitty J plays pretty much everything now with 8 unique picks. So we'll see how he performs on the champion. But LowLandLions having to rethink their game plan a little here. They go for the Corki, they go for the Fresh. So Hybrid gets his Fresh. And it'll take away the Corki from Jeebus. So we'll see how this one works out. And what they'll go for the rest of their picking phase. But so far, they've just picked the AD carry and support. So not thinking too hard about it. And game is Toots. Now, the ball is in their court to follow up with what they want.
It is. That Corki getting locked in. Interesting they didn't go for the Graves, and I say that just because of the success that the Graves Thresh combo has had. Not really to do with the Corki as such, more to do with, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Corki is a very strong champion, still very high priority by a lot of the players. Interestingly, this is the 9th unique champion now for Smitty J. He has not played an Aurelia game here in the European Challenger Series at all, so...
Very cool. Yeah, that's 9 in the 11 games. 12 games. Yep, 9 in 12 games. Got it. Okay, so what game is Two going to be picking here? So the Annie comes out as the potential support pick, and the Lucian as well. So taking a page out of Forgiven's book, perhaps, and we're putting that into the bot lane. Even though Graves was available, they go for the Lucian.
Yep, they do indeed. And at this point with the Annie as well, that's a lot of damage down in that bottom lane, but we've seen Annie start to fall off a little bit. Really only H2K is a European team favoring that for Kasing, but that didn't really go well for H2K either last week. So not saying that the champion won't do well, more that it has started to tumble a little bit further and further down now that we've got longer scaling AD carries when you need somebody that can kind of sustain the mid lane a little bit more. We saw a lot of Nami this past week.
A lot of Nami. Last time we saw it in Challenger was Voidor. He likes picking that champion. Died a lot, but we'll see what they can do with this champion. It will be Hiva taking the helm on Annie, and LowLandLions are really thinking about this. They have pretty much run down the clock, so they're thinking about their jungle here. We'll see what they go for. Only 1 second remaining. This is going to go down to the wire. Hello.
Okay.
So I spoke to CosQ, and I was like, so hey, you thinking about Wukong Fiora? And he was like, I'm going to make it work. And I was like, okay. So he's picked it.
Okay, interesting. So this is a really weird situation, and I'm going to say this because that Fiora is a LowLandLions only flex pick. They've played it mid lane, they've played it top lane. I mean, they haven't had a lot of success with it top lane. I know they've had some success with it mid lane outside of the Challenger Series. I can't believe I just said Fiora's a flex pick.
It is. Only on LowLandLions.
Only LowLandLions. But
we'll see. But what is for certain is they picked up the Gragas for jungle, so that much makes sense.
Gragas has been played top lane as well in certain regions.
Yeah,
as well.
it has.
But I'm just saying, that's flex picks for LowLandLions. I agree with you. It's likely to be
Corki could also be a flex pick. We've seen him mid lane by Zhao.
Oh dear. Okay, well there's only one thing for certain, and that's Thresh. But LeBlanc was available in this game as well. Not banned out as it was banned out in the last game, so that has gone over to Ica. And that's a very fast lock-in that tells us exactly where everything is going.
Yes, so it was the Sojani as the final pickup from Gamers 2. Gragas has also picked up. There is kind of back and forth on Gragas, Sojani, which camp do you sit on? We can see which these teams sit in. But yes, the last pickup was Ari into LeBlanc, which is pretty much a skill matchup nowadays.
Yeah, again, tiny little bits shaved off the top of damage on LeBlanc, but still goes the smallest way to help Ari. It's all on the charm. As soon as you go in with LeBlanc, if you get charmed, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that LeBlanc should do very well, and it's because of the mobility, but if a LeBlanc misplays, that is when the difficulty comes in. However, the team compositions just in general, LowLandLions really want to skirmish with this kind of composition. You look at a Fiora and an Ari, that's two champions that want to just blow somebody up. Gragas as well, you ult them back towards the rest of your team. There's a whole lot of disruption coming from that composition.
There is. I'll be very interested to see how they play it out as well. But make sure to get on Twitter, and if you spot a big play from one of the teams, make sure to tweet at LLL Esports with the hashtag #ChallengerBigPlays. And last week's big play comes from the Mouse and Gamers 2 matchup, and it came from Mr. Guesswork, who said, "Never underestimate the Scout's code. Captain Teemo is always on duty. This is your Challenger Big Play."
Yeah, Cedrian shoved a wave into the bottom. With the Baroned up minions, G2 should be able to clear this. It depends on how much damage that Cedrian and SozPurefect can do to clear the waves. G2 are a little bit hesitant on this. SozPurefect,
they better be! Teemo with the ambush damage comes out of stealth.
No way!
There's one, there's two. Double kill comes out. He flashes forwards, looks for the third. That's a triple for Teemo. So that happened.
Dear.
That was a thing.
Yeah, that's the bad kind of nostalgia. But, you know, if you want some tips and tricks on Teemo, if you really do, LOL Esports has an article up on their Challenger portal with some tips and tricks for playing Teemo. And that was with the victorious Swift Scout from last week's series, as you just saw, versus Gamers 2, SozPurefect. So if you really want to terrorize solo queue,
evil incarnate.
It's okay, guys. I'm standing at our Nexus turrets because I'm going to win the game in 30 minutes when they come into all of my mushrooms.
That's the game plan. Oh my. But yeah, and LOL Esports isn't done yet, as we did publish our very own David Freak Turley's article. Welcome to the Challenger Series Spring Playoffs, giving you all you need to get yourself ready for playoffs. Yeah,
there's a lot in there, a lot worth checking out as well.
No doubt puns.
You know, we're already potentially halfway through our first semi-final.
We are, and we are going to get into this game to determine whether this is going to be our last game as we get onto the rift here. Gamers 2 now into the blue corner. LowLandLions one game up in this one, Stress, and they will be sporting the red colors this time around. We'll see how they perform. And we'll be shooting out the Orb of Deception just to get the slight speed up, but they also had the beginning of the game home guard speed up, so
all random all top
jungle. All random all top. Everyone's going to be going into this one. Okay, Jeebus behind the pack, straggling behind. It is Smitty J who's splitting off, but everyone is going to meet up here.
You know what? I never really thought about this. You get a better view at the top side of the map than you do at the bottom. Bottom side's just caverns, and mid lane's just river. Top side, look, scenic views. That's exactly what you want. Oh, this is 5v5 at level 1. Are you kidding me? Where's the sun?
Still on to 5, and he goes in, but he may pay with his life. And there's Smitty J from the sidelines. He comes into the top. That's first blood going to the Fiora. Now Smitty J trying to get what he can onto that Morsu. Now Jeebus, is he under attack here? They still have a bunch of flashes to burn if they want to jump on him. There's the whole game lands onto Jeebus as well. He'll follow up. Also gets the barrel from Kyrie. Aika with a final distortion. I think that's the most explosive level 1 we've seen so far in the Challenger Series.
And that was huge for LowLandLions as well. You know what? It was when you could see two things just kind of looking to collide, and I was like, they're not going to do it. They're not going to collide. And then Hiva actually lands a beautiful stun on about 4 people. The problem is there was a bit of distance between Hiva and the rest of his team, so Hiva just got picked off to begin this game. Now, what does that change? Oh my goodness, it gives Fiora a longsword and a Dorans for this lane. Goodbye any hopes of Smitty J sitting 1v1 in that lane for a while, if I'm being honest. So this is going to have to be a lane swap here out of Gamers 2. It has to be blind as well, but look at the ward already placed here for LowLandLions. It's going to spot out this lane swap already. What is Fiora going to choose to do? Are they going to recall with their bottom lane, or just send Fiora up there as well? They'll lose a lot of experience if they do choose to recall. However, they will have got some from this Gromp. They are just going to go towards the bottom lane as well, so Morsu should hit level 2 himself.
Yeah, it's going to take him a little while to take on this Raptor, but he did go for the lunge first for the extra upfront damage. Now he'll go for the riposte most likely. There you go. And he'll actually help out Kairi, so he might even be leeching some XP from here.
Yeah, Morsu can't sit in that 1v2. There is almost nothing that Fiora can do in a 1 versus 2 situation, so they're going to have to jungle, and if they do have to send Morsu up to that top lane, they're going to need hybrid with him. There's really just no way that Morsu can sit in that lane. On the other side of things, though, Visility will be very happy to sit 1 versus 1 in the bottom lane as well. Corki is fine to sit on his own. Question is, will LowLandLions pull the trigger on that swap anytime soon, or will they just let Morsu keep jungling?
Yeah, they're currently just freezing it up in the bot lane here, as are they in the top lane. Looks like a recall coming out from Hiva, so it looks like he'll maybe heading into the bot lane to assist Smitty J in farming. Looks like there's the case as he's wandering down there. And in the jungle, it's still Morsu and Kairi going at it. So, in the mid lane, it is currently Aika versus Kozq. It is Ahri versus LeBlanc, so far completely equal. There's been nothing going to it just yet, but we may be seeing a 4-man dive onto the bot lane with Smitty J here.
We will. Oh, Lantern coming in as well. Morsu straight into the action.
There's the flash. Gets away from the death sentence.
That's all they need.
Yep, that's all they need indeed. And Hiva has gone into the bot lane, but he'll be zoning away Kairi, who takes up that pink ward, wards it himself. This bot lane, if it doesn't go down, there's going to be a large chunk taken out of it by LowLandLions.
And you know, this the play of bringing Hiva down here just signals that there's nothing Gamers 2 can do on the top side. They're forced to let Lucian just freeze on his own, but he's actually just even on CS, considering the amount of difference in position. Ooh, hook nearly lands again, but now it's a 4 versus 3 in this bottom lane. Lucian freezing up in the top on his own, so LowLandLions really want to get this tower and then send somebody top to break Jeebus's farming habits.
Yep, and here with this last minion wave, they will be pushing it in. There's Morsu into the top lane. He should be able to clear this one away. Jeebus has to be a little careful with auto attack harassing Morsu under the turret because riposte will just come out. There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Case in point. But Morsu also teleports in at the right. We were about to have a point in case moment again. Tower goes down in the bottom lane. I knew you were thinking. Good teleport timing out of Morsu, though. He actually received a huge wave of minions, but it's mid lane. Kozq may be in a little bit of trouble here. Not quite 6, no flash.
Jumps in with the distortion. Hiva with the auto attack, and the disintegrate takes the tower shot. They'll all be backing away. So going from lane to lane, so far it's LowLandLions who've been getting ahead of these roams. And Kairi is also sitting in the wings with Gragas. And bot lane now, Visility up against level 2 Smitty J. He'll be Valkyrie forwards. There's the fast bomb, looking for the Gatling gun as well. It's enough to show his authority in the bottom lane. If you take a look at those top lanes as well, 20 CS to 4 currently for Morsu, plus the extra kill. He's sitting on double his total gold, or almost 2k there, to almost 1k from Smitty.
LowLandLions are so far ahead this early into the game, and you know it's really all on Gamers 2 to get this Irelia into the game. But Hybrid now coming top. Jeebus is a little bit caught out here, doesn't quite have his flash available.
His only hope is to try and kill Morsu, but he jukes into the bush. The vision is gone. See you later. Kairi also comes in from the side. Morsu also just jukes into the bush again, and he's just trying to play dance party as he gets away. Kairi, I don't think he had to flash, but it looked awesome. Bottom lane, Gamers 2 looking to move on to Visility and do the same. There's the stun going down, and the stun as well for an Equilibrium strike. Gilius takes 2 tower shots. It's not quite enough to shower him in blood and kill him, but Hiva, last tower shot comes through and doesn't kill him either. Mid lane, though, Kozq moving on to Aika. There's a last mirror. She's going to get changed underneath the turret. Last auto attack, blasted away, and it's not going to be him going down as the Hellpot keeps him alive from the ignite.
Wow, the timing of the turret shots there, well balanced out of Kozq. I was about to say it was a little bit dangerous. The chains were about to tether as well, and you confidently flash under turret, saying, hey, I know this is going to lock me down, but I know I can get out of this. And really smart plays out by Kozq in that middle lane. Meanwhile, top side of the map, LowLandLions are just pushing themselves another turret here. And this is a repeat almost of game 1 here, where LowLandLions are just pressuring all across the map. Oh, Kairi over the wall.
From the side, he doesn't have his ult. He is only level 4, going to bonk him on the head with his W. Jeebus returns fire with the double tap and light slinger, but Hybrid as well. And we're thinking of maybe going in, but Morsu's out of mana. He has flash, but he wants to go back to base. He's got a lot of gold to spend. He hasn't been back since the first minute, since he got that first blood, so he's going to have lots to spend. And look at that, straight into the Tiamat.
Straight into that Tiamat. Of course. What else would you build on Fiora this in a competitive game? Of course you need a Tiamat, but we've seen the Fiora once before out of Morsu, and it did not really do as much as we were expecting from it. However, this is a great start. 1-0-1, a lot better than the last time we saw the Fiora out of him, so maybe this is the platform he needs to really build himself a lot of damage and do a lot in team fights here. But Smitty J has finally started farming himself up as well.
Interesting. So 66% versus 34% from Gamers2 versus LowLandLions here in the fan vote. So it has increased a little bit by LowLandLions, but people still have faith in them. But maybe Morsu's looking to shut that faith down as he jumps onto Jeebus. It's not going to be enough, though, as he does get exhausted by Heaver. Nice timing. And Heaver's only level 3. He is a low-level Annie coming out. But the rest of the score, or the rest of the scoreboard, is kind of low levels all over the board since everyone has been roaming around. LowLandLions now onto this dragon. It will be Corki taking it with the last auto attack. So the first dragon once again goes to LowLandLions, as we saw last game. And G2 should be able to respond in the form of their first turret of the game for the top turret.
Yeah, they will get this one. And G2 will take that for now. Being behind, they want that extra goal to get themselves back into it. Kyrie now pushes into the middle lane. Good movements out of the LowLandLions here, but they do have Gilius there as well. No ultimate yet out of Gilius, and Ica just clears the wave out, but that's a lot of damage already done to that mid lane turret. Needlessly large rod rushed out by CosQ here, so not opting for any kind of mana items, just going for all of the damage right now, and then opting to rely on that blue buff and the 2 Doran's rings as well when he does indeed get that blue buff passed over. But it's a mid turret that is now going down for LowLandLions. The blue buff for Ica was enough of a distraction, and the map vision here for G2 is just slowly being eroded away. That's 3 turrets down before 10 minutes.
Sounds like Corki's machine is malfunctioning slightly, but we'll see how that works out. And Hybrid will be heading back to base here, so I'm going to be picking up some more items. CosQ has gone for his Neasly large rod, and Ica heading towards something with a Phoenix Codex. Could go into a plethora of different items.
Yeah, could go into a lot, but look at Morsu, who was already pushing that top tower in. And this is before 10 minutes. This is earlier than we've ever seen from him, and the rest of G2, really that gank on its own just kind of showed you everything that G2 is struggling with right now. They're struggling to get just in the presence of LowLandLions without being killed. It was a good exhaust timing on that Fiora gank up in that top lane, but Heaver doesn't have that now for a little while. And yep. Oh,
Hybrid onto Heaver. There's a double stun onto Hybrid and Kyrie, though. That was not the Fresh Express that they really wanted. There's the Light Slinger. They'll maybe follow up after the wall. Jeebus comes in. He'll be knocked away by the Flay. CosQ from the mid lane. Morsu as well, teleported into the fight. There's one. He uses an ultimate. There is all the damage from the Blade Waltz. And Kyrie as well, trying to get away. It will be Ica over the wall. Jeebus should be left to die, though. A 4-4-2 in a situation that looked very good for Gamers2 with the double stun. LowLandLions come ahead regardless.
Great fight early into this game for the LowLandLions Invisibility. That must be being fired off in celebration.
But fired off in something.
Morsu went from being, 1 kill, 1 assist. Now he's up to 3-1-3. Gonna be unstoppable the later we go, but let's take another look at how this all started. Hybrid goes a little bit too aggressive with Kyrie, knowing that Gilius is 6 in the bottom lane, so this looked great for Gamers2 right now. Both top laners managed to teleport in, but the difference here is how far away both mid laners are. CosQ, because that mid turret is already down, he can roam straight through River, and LeBlanc is forced all the way around the backside of this fight, and it allows LowLandLions to just pick this fight up very early on. Ica still full health and almost full mana at the end of that fight because he could only get in there at the very last second. Yeah,
all he did was finish off Kyrie, who, to be honest, probably would have escaped had Jeebus not had help in that situation. Hybrid will be taking this ward here and just continuing their vision game. They are definitely ahead currently in terms of that, now getting aggressive wards into the opposing jungle, but they are ahead in the mid lane. They're actually behind in farm in both the top and AD carry roles, and a little bit behind in the kills as well in that AD carry. Jeebus actually turning up, but Morsu is 3-1-3. He's finished his Hydra, and he is a major threat now that he gets to these fights, and he is not in any way, shape, or form being shut down by Gamers2. That first blood was so perfect for the Lions.
And this is the second game in a row that this has happened. That Morsu has got himself onto a comfortable champion and is just kind of you know, not phased by anything that Gamers 2 are throwing at him, and that's worrying for Gamers 2 that they haven't been able to stop Morsu. And Morsu's been a player that's been around for a very long time, specifically on LowLandLions as well. I remember casting him for years on LowLandLions, but his bottom lane, there's an engage.
Ult into the tower, gets Heaver taking another tower shot. SmittyJ Angulis there again, lands a great ultimate, but is it going to be enough? So far it hasn't been. There's the fast bomb followed by the rocket. Mid lane, no, Cosq's going deep onto Ica. He takes down the clone, 25 gold in the bank, but doesn't net Ica.
But what that did was it stops LeBlanc from stopping Morsu at all, or Cosq in the middle lane, because that was a 3 versus 4 in favor of LowLandLions in the bottom lane itself. So G2 threw everything they could, and now they're going to go for round 2.
SmittyJ did get the teleport in. Hybrid lands the flay onto 2, and Facility just eats them alive. Now SmittyJ turns around onto them, trying to get this kill onto Hybrid, but a great box will keep him in his tracks, and Facility, all he has to do is stand there and act like a turret and shoot him down. 3 kills in there for LowLandLions, a 3-for-1 trade total, and a turret in top lane by Morsu, because SmittyJ had to use his teleport to do that.
This is going to sound really weird, but really smart by Hybrid to just keep walking. As soon as Irelia was there, I was thinking, oh, she could get the reset quite easily off Thresh, but Hybrid plays it right. That's exactly what you'd expect from a support player in that kind of situation. So great plays out of LowLandLions just to hold on to that down in the bottom lane, and SmittyJ got what he could from that. He's started to try and get himself back into this game, but he hasn't finished his Trinity Force quite yet. 2-2-0, still way down on CS from that early game. He was level 2, remember, when Facility was level 4.
Yeah, and that has meant that everyone went back to base, and everyone was just laughing back to the bank there. So in the mid lane, it is now the Morellonomicon into the Death Cap, looking to be completed by Cosq. In the jungle, looking for something with his Catalyst coming out. Hybrid lands a hook onto Heaver, still level 5 in this game. Morsu is level 10, wow. Double his level. What? Goodbye, Annie. Annie, are you okay? The answer is no. Taking a look at this dragon, LowLandLions are going to be taking this one with no difficulties and bringing that to their second dragon of the game. Going back onto the item just for a second, I want to talk about a BF sword now being picked up by Morsu, so he's getting kind of scary. Oh. Hybrid, though, in the jungle, looks to be taken out by Ica, but does he have anything left in the reservoir? Oh, Facility from the top side. Cosq comes in as well. Down goes the clone once again. Jeebus will be receiving the Foxfires and goes down for the count. That is another kill on their side. Now they're looking towards the middle turret. Where did this LowLandLions come from? This is insane.
Massive gold lead, 7,000 at least here for LowLandLions. And Morsu split pushing down in the bottom lane. When was the last time you ever saw a top laner build a BF sword? Ever. Like, that doesn't happen.
Not in recent history for sure, Stress.
I mean, Morsu is just completely pushing in Gamers 2 all across the map, now up to 6 turrets at 15 minutes. This is an absolute decimation of Gamers 2.
This is shaping up to be a 2-0, and that is pretty much the reverse of everyone's opinion going into this game. LowLandLions, yes, they've been great at picking up those one-odd wins during the round robin, but that's kind of as far as it's gone. They've never 2-0'd a team who have looked to be above them. They've always picked up one game and lost the other, but this time they're just running it home, and Gamers 2 look lost.
I wonder who LowLandLions have been scrimming this week. Like, as a serious point, because this is a very well-composed LowLandLions. Yeah. This is more composed than they were showing against Origin. And the first game may be the exception there. The second game still looked a little bit rough from LowLandLions, but this is much better. And we know Gamers 2 do play against the top challenger teams and, you know, the lower half of the LCS teams as well, but they have not showed up yet in this series at all.
They have not, and if they are, they have not long to do so. They're mid-game through a game that is poised for LowLandLions to take. And if they lose this, they're done. They're right into the third-placed game. They still have a chance at making the promotion tournament by defeating whoever loses tomorrow versus Origin and Reason Gaming. That's not the situation you want to be in as Gamers 2. I spoke to pretty much every single challenger team, and unanimously, they were all like, yeah, it's going to be Origin, Gamers 2 in the finals. They said that at the start of the round robin, they said it at the end of the round robin, and right now that does not look to be the case.
That's just been the story of LowLandLions, though, isn't it? Everybody has not expected anything from them. And that might sound really harsh, but the fact of the matter is, every article, every interview, everything that was posted before this Challenger Series round robin started put them as 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
And they have never really looked like a 5th or 6th team. They've had their rough games, but they've never really looked that low.
Yeah, I have to completely agree. Gamers 2, it's not like they're playing awfully, it's just that LowLandLions are simply playing better. And they are doing that in everything in this game. And bot lane as well, they're now pushing in. Top lane is now significantly ahead in favor of Morsu. Top lane though, Heaver does get the stun onto CosQ. SmittyJ looking for his stun, his follow with Q, doesn't quite get it.
He didn't quite get it, but I want to talk about the mid lane matchup. And we talked earlier in the season about how CosQ is very confident in that mid lane. He's pretty much destroyed Ica in both games here. He's been ahead in CS, been up in kills, up in assists. He's just been around the map more, even on the Cassiopeia in the last game, than Ica has been able to deal with. And that is really problematic here for Gamers 2, because CosQ, as good as a player he is, he wasn't the likes of a Senkux when we came in where everyone was like, this guy's going to carry every single game. Or an Xpeke who has this wealth of experience. But LowLandLions as a unit have just completely stepped up. And I mean, I wish there was a lot more to analyze from this game from a team comp's perspective, but Gamers 2 just have played into the hands of LowLandLions. They've given them carry champions that they want. LowLandLions have made picks, and they've got objectives from it.
And all of that has led up to the steps of the base from Gamers 2. Let's see if they can crack this ring of towers. Kyrie is leading the charge here, keeping people away. Arctic Assault used as a disengage. Heaver with a great stun onto 4 players. This could be the turning point. Hybrid will be dropping low, but the Kyrie has already gone down. CosQ comes in with the Spirit Rush. There's 1, there's 2 kills for LowLandLions currently. Morsu is stuck in the enemy base. He takes 1 more down with him. SmittyJ comes in. Visibility goes for 1. He jumps into the base, but he's locked underneath the turret. He'll be flashing away. Rocket, as he escapes the fight, does not land onto Ica, but that is a 3 for 2, and LowLandLions are still looking to keep up the assault.
And they can't be that over-aggressive.
Ica jumps in! He gets free with his distortion! Unreal!
You cannot be that over-aggressive. LowLandLions were in the situation to take an inhibitor tower. They stacked on top of each other. I think at that moment, everybody saw the play. Everybody saw the play, including LowLandLions, and they were just too slow to react at the same time.
That one's a freebie. That is a hashtag challenger big play right there. Wow,
give that over to Ica. That is, for everything we said about that mid lane matchup, this LeBlanc is now becoming terrifying after that.
Yeah, an extra 3 kills in this mid-game stage. I say we're mid-game, it's 20 minutes into the game, but that's what it's become. Gold has just accelerated this game so quickly. And Ica is now a serious threat for LowLandLions to deal with. And they didn't even take down the middle inhibitor turret, so they didn't even get what they came for. This could be the breathing room that Gamers 2 need. However, I say that, you take a look at the goal totals, still almost 10k down in this game, 9k at this current moment. It's a long hill to try and get up, but they have made the first step.
The issue that LowLandLions have, though, with this comp and now with a serious damage threat like this LeBlanc, is that they only have 1 tank. They're running a Fiora in the top lane, which is going to be great for split pushing in situations like this, where LowLandLions are taking something across the map. Ica doesn't quite hit the tether, so can't really follow up with the damage. But without a second tank, they now have to ward incredibly carefully. If Fiora, Corki, or Ahri get blown up by a flank out of a LeBlanc here, this is still anybody's game. There is still a lot that Ica can do if the warding is not good out of LowLandLions.
Something that's going to be preying at the back of Gamers 2's mind, however, is the fact that LowLandLions are now 3 dragons up against them. 1 more and they'll be up against the clock because 5th dragon is on the horizon, and with the extra damage that they get from that, it can be very difficult to deal with. Blue buff was taken away by CosQ as Ica tries to steal it with his distortion.
Yeah, but I emphasize to Ica the flank. Don't try and go in through the front like that. That's I know you're only trying to steal the blue buff, but you're still on dangerous territory here. You've still got to play it out very carefully. But the game is certainly still afoot. It's still
the game is afoot.
A massive, massive goal difference.
Gilius walks into the bus, right into the clutches of the LowLandLions. However, Hybrid does get blown up. CosQ from the side, however, he takes down the Swazjani. And do they have any more in the bank? Because SmittyJ does get charmed up. Visibility jumps aggressively in with the Valkyrie for his double kill. Now chasing down Heaver and Ica. Morsu is looking for the Blade Waltz. Can he get in range? Not quite yet, but they still have have to worry about it.
The ticket, the turret is already low, and I was about to say LowLandLions could be booking their tickets here to at least the promotion tournament here after the grand finals. That winning this game will put them in touching reach of an LCS spot.
Absolutely incredible performance, honestly, by both teams, because Gamers 2, yes, they've looked weak through this game, but they've had moments of brilliance. Iker, you were talking about in Game 1 how he wasn't impressed by his own performances and was looking to turn up when he came into this best of 3. I think that one play by itself in the mid lane has pretty much done what he asked for, no matter how this series ends up.
Here comes the 4-1 out of LowLandLions again. What do Gamers 2 do to deter this? Again, we talked, they have to, LowLandLions have to ward carefully and ward properly. They also have to watch the engage out of Gilius. One of the big things that kind of deterred LowLandLions from actually taking an even better team. Ooh, Cosq.
Iker with the 1-2 with the distortion. Cosq very low. Jeebus tries to go in for the double tap. Doesn't land it. Both mid laners are left very low. There's the ultimate, the slam, the bam. Thank you, ma'am. Jeebus will be going down. Hybrid comes in with the last auto. And Facility now onto Heaver as well. That's a dead Annie. 2-4-0. They get the pick onto the bot lane. And LowLandLions, what else do they want from this? Well, Baron's available. Why not go for that? Yeah, this could very well be Baron right now. Gilius is still available. He's on the top side. Morsu actually is going to use teleport just to secure this. And that makes the 4-1 potential to end this game even scarier. You just wait for the mid lane to push in. 4-on-1. Side lane, 1 in the other, and nobody can really stop them. And LowLandLions are in such a good position right now. You look at what that BF sword went into. Mercurial Scimitar has been completed for a while, and a Brutalizer as well. No level 2 boots on Morsu because, quite frankly, he doesn't need it. There's nothing to run away from if you demolish what's in front of you first. Yep, plus you're invulnerable for a couple of seconds during Blade Waltz, so Morsu is as safe as a Fiora can get in these team fights. And for the mid laner, Cosq, he's completed 3 items currently. 3 items to the 2 items of his counterpart. So even though Iker netted all those kills, Cosq was still ahead of him because of how the farm's gone. He'll be in a battle to the death with blue buff. Got him. And now he'll speed himself up with Orb of Deception. But it's going to take a monumental comeback from Gamers 2 from here on out. They are 7 turrets to 1 currently. 3 dragons, not even a single dragon on the board. 12k behind in terms of farm. We'll see what they can do. One thing that may help Gamers 2, if LowLandLions don't bring this game to a close fairly quickly, is the levels and how early on in this game the 4-1 is going to start. Provided the Gamers 2 can clear the waves out, they will naturally just kind of accrue experience and gold that little bit faster to catch themselves back into the game. So if Gamers 2 can, you know, utilize the culling, utilize their wave clear with the static shiv on Lucian as well, they flash engage. Yes, good engage onto 2 players. That's the Cosq going down, but Heaver will trade his life for it. How much can they do in this fight though? Because Gilius is also dropping a low along with his top lane. That's Smitty J and Jeebus both go down. Morsu is in the back lines up against Gilius. This very well could be Gamers. Facility is tightening the screws. Iker trying to get in and assassinate the AD carry. Will get him for the shutdown, but that's a 1-for-1 and overall a 4-for-2. And LowLandLions are looking to close this out. This time the heal was up and Facility says, I know you want to go for it. I'm going to bait you in. And Iker takes it hook, line, and sinker, and now Morsu and crew are on their way to the Nexus turrets. This is a lot of damage and a wave of super minions. There's not a lot the Gamers 2 can do. Gilius comes in with the engage, and Hybrid is dropping low, but Morsu is the main threat here. He comes in with the lunge. He goes 1 for 2, and now Heaver is dragged back into the fray. Smitty J comes in. He takes out the support. Jeebus is now back into the fight as well. Morsu is dropping low. He goes onto the tower. Can he kill both of these targets? He goes 1 on 2. Not quite. There's the double kill. He jumps back into Jeebus. Oh, we're going to see Fnatic Unicorns of Love here, Stress. Not quite. They're still not quite onto the Nexus as such, but Kyrie is going to back away. There's so many minions here, and Iker is taking so much damage from them. He will fall. Okay. They hold on. They hold for now. That is 2 inhibs going down, but man, that was a good push out of LowLandLions, but a great hold out of Gamers 2 on the Nexus. Iker knew what he had to do, and he quickly jumps up to 8-2-0, nearly rivaling the stat line here out of Morsu. But man, Gamers 2, they've still got a good 20-25 minutes left in this game if they want to hold on. Yeah, that was intense. Visility now onto this dragon. This will be their 4th of the game. This is not a dragon that Gamers2 are going to try and contest. They have put their line of pink wards within their own jungle to try and secure some resemblance of vision control in this game. But yeah, I mean, they have pretty good scaling, of course. They do have the Irelia coming out here. If she can get to 60 or 80 minutes, she could become a major threat for them.
And let's talk about that. We looked at the top laners as our featured matchup. Smitty J did not get into this series. And it's the unorthodox or you know, stronger carry style picks out of Morsu that has been a big part of why Smitty J has never got into this. Constantly G2 had to play around Morsu, and Smitty J just got the short end of the stick. He had to be in a 1v2. He had to, you know, just get bursted down by Kyrie and Morsu again and again under turret. There was nothing that Smitty J could do.
There was not indeed. This will be last chance saloon for Gamers2. They are off to the side. Gilius goes for the exchange, lands it onto 2, make that 3. CosQ jukes backwards, Smitty J goes down. This is not looking good for Gamers2 right now as Smitty J goes onto the front lines. Goodbye, Jeebus. Morsu shuts him down. Gilius as well, the last rocket from the sidelines from downtown. There's now 1 versus 5, and LowLandLions undoubtedly will take this game. The Nexus is exposed. They even make it 5-0. The clean sweep, 2-0 in this game stress. LowLandLions take themselves to the grand finals.
What a game, what a series out of LowLandLions. When you look at just the overall game plan they had, it was put it on Morsu as a distraction to let everybody else get fed. Morsu will get fed anyway in the process, and we'll just out-push you. We'll get as many turrets as you can. You look at both games, they both ended in about 28 minutes as a total. And in both of them, there were multiple turrets down pre-10 minutes. At that point, 6 turrets were down before about that 10-15 minute mark in favor of LowLandLions. Gamers2 just never, ever caught on to what was happening.
Yeah, they just never got into the game. Smitty J in the top lane did not get into the game, and neither did his team. 2-0. LowLandLions at the kind of one of the final hurdles, just really turn it on. Like, yes, they've had the moments of brilliances, the glimpses of that during the round robin. I just didn't think they were going to go this huge in the final game here.
And you know what? You eye up who they have to play against, potentially. Yes, they've got the grand finals, and let's not look past that, because as much of a test as Origin and Reason Gaming are going to be tomorrow, we'll see who gets that, and that's going to be a great finals. But at a minimum, LowLandLions will be in the promotion tournament. Yeah. And you look at the 2 teams there, MYM and Giants. That was more strategy than we've seen out of MYM and Giants in the last few weeks. Yep. Giants may be the exception from this week, but that was only kind of like an overarching plan. LowLandLions smothered and dissected Gamers2.
If they turn up like that in the promotion tournament, they will beat MYM or Giants. If they play like that. Straight up.
Yeah.
And
Rocket and Giants. Yeah.
Yes.
MYM will be joining us next.
Yeah, they're auto relegated down into Challenger, so yeah, they won't be facing them. They would definitely beat them, but they're not gonna be playing games. Yes, Rocket and Giants.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to kind of, you know, just take that minute to look at LowLandLions and what we expect, what I expected. I know when we were watching the qualifiers, we were talking obviously off stream, and you were saying they're looking really good, and I was thinking, yeah, they've got a lot of potential, but I guess I wasn't a believer at the beginning, certainly over the round robin, and now with this series against Gamers2, just looking dominant. They've gone from strength to strength, and they've evolved constantly throughout the group stage and now into the playoffs, and they're in a great spot.
Yeah, we had that difference of opinion, and I'm glad that that I thought that at the very start. I saw the small amount of potential, but never did I think it would go this far.
And I think the point there is that we're glad that it's not just, oh, that's the 6 teams at the beginning. That's what it's going to be, and that's how it's played out. It's been a lot more diverse than we ever anticipated. But let's reel it back to Gamers2, because it's not done for them. They still will be at a minimum in the summer split of Challenger. Their other potential now is to play in the 3rd place game next week. and they'll face the loser of Origin versus Reason Gaming. So the winner of that third place game will also go to the promotion tournament. So there's still a lot for Gamers 2, but they've only got a week to fix it.
Well, let's bring it back to LowLandLions, because after their win, we're joined by Kyrie to talk about LowLandLions' victory and how they got here. Hey, Kyrie, how's it going?
Well, I'm fine.
So I guess the first question is that game, that series 2-0. Were you expecting to do so well against Gamers 2?
Well, we actually didn't expect that, but the banding phase went quite well. Like we wanted them to either pick jacks or ban jacks. Like we made really obvious bans like Rumble, Malphite, like everything that counts jacks, and we had first pick as well. So, and they actually did ban jacks, and so we could first pick neatly without any threat, you know, like.
What were your thoughts then in Game 2, where Nidalee would ultimately be banned? So was Gragas always kind of the estimated second pick?
Well, the things with Gragas, you have like a really good engage with the speed item, and hard fights, like hard engage, Nidalee will like never win because Gragas is like way better, and Gragas is well really good against the Blanc because when she jumps in, you can just cancel the jump and as well, ult her back, and then Fiora can just ult her and she's dead. So.
Very cool. And I do want to ask one more question about the game, because when Iker came in with his distortion and killed 3 of you all at the same time, what was going through your head? Because you were pushing up and almost looking to close out the game, but that stopped you for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, well, that was kind of unexpected, I guess. Positioning wasn't that great, but well, we were still really far ahead at like 50 minutes, like every outer third, only the inner way left, and yep.
So now we look forward to tomorrow's semi-final between Reason Gaming and Origin. Do you have any thoughts on what your predictions are for tomorrow's series?
Well, I do think Reason Gaming has a chance, but the chance isn't that great, though. I think Origin has the upper hand, and they will take like 2-1 or 2-0, I believe.
Yeah, so then...
like, anything can happen.
Yeah, so I guess then moving on to next week, because you guys 2-0 Gamers 2, and then if Origin do win, like you're saying, how do you think it's going to go up against Origin if you do go up against them in the finals?
Well, it'll be a hard match, but it's certainly doable, you know, like everyone makes mistakes and anything can happen. Once you get ahead, you won't fall back down that easily, like you know how to punish people, so...
Certainly, as you demonstrated in that last game.
Pick and ban is good, we will be alright, I believe.
Well, fantastic. Once again, congratulations on your win, Kyrie, and we will see you in the finals, in fact. So, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you too.
Well, that was crazy as a series.
Yeah, I'm still reeling. I was not expecting a 2-game series, either way. I thought we were going to go to 3. I didn't think either team was really going to dominate the other, because we've seen both of them pick up wins, but LowLandLions were on a different level today from anything we've seen.
Yeah, as Kyrie said, they know how to finish people, and that's exactly what they did. So, with that win, we've determined our first team to make the grand finals. Let's take a look at the bracket and see where the teams stand. So, that means LowLandLions advance to the finals, and then Gamers 2 will play in a third-place match against the loser from tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to that series now. If it's anything like the performance we just saw, the games may not have been very close, but, you know, I feel like Reason Gaming, they've had a little bit of time to prepare. Hopefully they can match up against Origin.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see who comes out behind there in that series. But make sure to tune in again tomorrow, because our second semi-final between Origin and Reason Gaming will be going ahead in another best of 3. We'll be kicking off the action at 6 PM CEST. And
if you missed any of today's games, because they were fairly fast, or if you want to catch up with the games from any of the round-robin group stage, head over to LLEsports.com.
And while you're there, make sure to book your ticket to the teams, or to see the teams live in the finals next week on April 8th. Time's running out, so make sure to book soon.
Yeah, LowLandLions have booked their ticket already. They're in. They're done. We're going to have to see who wants that second spot on the stage. But tune in later because Freak and Cyrene, they're going to be bringing you their first semi-final of the 2015 North American Challenger Series playoffs. And that kicks off at 12 p.m. CEST or 3 p.m. Pacific.
Well, it was kind of a short one, but that's it for today. From myself, Stress, and the entire broadcast crew, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you at the same time tomorrow.
Ooh, Gilius flashes in.
He comes in. There's the ultimate coming across. Heaver does land his binding, but a great ultimate by Coscu lands onto 2. There's collateral damage. Morsu follows up as well. Spinny J only now uses ultimate onto the back line and will take down the counterpart of Morsu. But that's 4 of the players from Gamers 2 down for the count.
5v5 at level 1. Are you kidding me? Where's the sun?
And it's still on to 5. And he goes in, but he may pay with his life. And there's Spinny J from the sidelines. He comes into the top. That's first blood going to the Fiora. LowLandLions are still looking to keep up the assault.
And they can't be that over-aggressive.
Wow! He gets free with his distortion. Unreal. It is now 1 versus 5, and LowLandLions undoubtedly will take this game. The Nexus is exposed. They even make it 5-0. The clean sweep, 2-0 in this.